just saying if we got this recording started. Yep, so now we're recording for YouTube, just a live analysis, episode 7 or something. I'm trading 100k, but with that said, let's just head on into these pairs and see what we're kind of looking at for this week. So here we can kind of see that it is in this slight downtrend, and it is coming towards this oversold region, and it is rejecting at this key level. Also, maybe if we were to look at the fib from this high to this low, we can see a bit of rejection here on this 0.5 area and actually take it towards the downside, and we do see this rejection occurring here. It is trying to come back up. Hopefully it's unable to, and we can target something like this and kind of just have a stop loss like around there. We can see it's about 1.4 risk to reward ratio, or even then we could just have it like this and risk only like 1%, and we could gain almost 3% off this trade. So this here could be a pretty nice trade, I think, in the week. And yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. And because I actually really do like this setup, I'm probably going to mark it down, and we'll head over into the next one. So taking a look here, I can kind of see that there is this little bit of like area of support. So I could mark it up. Should I? Nah, not in my opinion. So just get rid of this damn box. So we can see that here with this arrow, it has been in this steady decline. Maybe if we even go into the 4 hour just to see it better. Since Rona, it has come down into this decline. It is actually in the oversold region in the RSI. So hopefully we could be looking for a pullback. But something that I'll be looking for is a bit of a flag and then it dropping. So I can kind of see that there's this level of support, right? So I kind of want to see it start ranging first before it actually starts heading towards the upside and creating a bit of market structure. We can also see kind of, if we were to zoom in as we are on the 4 hour, maybe if we go into the 1 hour, there is kind of this key level right here. So if it does end up breaking above, then this could be a really nice entry point to take towards the upside if it does start rejecting this as well. Because once again, if we do zoom out here, we can see that it has been really in this steady decline. So there's probably going to be a bit of a correction soon. Hopefully you can gain some dollarinos off of that move and take it towards the upside. So this here is definitely a pair I'll be looking in heading into the week. Alright, so taking a look here, we can see that there was this huge sell-off here. So we can see coronavirus here. There was this huge sell-off back into below this previous range. So we're going to move this down. We're going to see where the next... Alright, so this here was the next low that we can see on the level. But even here, but this is 2018. So the last time I hit these lows was in 2018. So we can also see here that it is in the oversold region, as well as it being pretty low here on this OBV. So I think that if we'll just mark up this area here, because we can see that it is a bit of support level there, and then it becomes resistance here. So I think if it does start to bounce off here, range, and then create some market structure in the upwards momentum, then we could end up entering in here for a buy. Even all the way up to here, because it is looking like it's pretty right now it's bearish. Obviously it's heading down, but it does look like it's kind of hitting those areas where we could be inclined to enter in on a what's it called, on a reversal. Also, I didn't actually have chat open, I forgot about it, so I'm about to open up. So I'm opening up chat now just on my laptop. Sorry about that. Oh, just gonna get there. Alright, so okay, my phone chat isn't loading, so don't worry about that. We'll just continue. I'll get chat up open in a sec. If you do have any questions, just feel free to ask. You can either like DM me on my socials like Instagram, whatever, if you have any questions, or just shoot me a message on my YouTube videos, because I reply to like basically everything, unless it's obviously just like some damn bot. So just give me a sec, opening up the the chat. But as I was saying with this pair, that even though it is bearish, what I'm saying is that it's getting close to an area where we could kind of expect there to be a reversal, because if we do kind of go back, we can see it's dropped below these lows here. We can see that it drops below the lows all the way up until here, and this point was the 1st of October 2018. So possibly we'll start seeing a reversal, and also with like this RSI and this OBV. So just getting the stream manager up. I'm gonna check chat quickly here. But yeah, so we'll head on over to the next pair. So like what I'm trying to say is like here, obviously I'm just looking for a bit of rejection and movement towards the upside. So right now I've got chat open. I think, just say, if you're in the chat, if you're watching live, just say something so I know, and that'll be pretty sick, so I can actually see if chat's working. But yeah. So here, taking a look at NU, I can kind of just see that it has been in this steady uptrend, and we can see that it's coming back to test this level right here, which was a previous extreme high, and it's kind of looking like it's just retesting it right now. In my opinion, if I was trading like here, I can see another key level. So this here could be a level, but then even this small area here could be a level. So if you're trading on the 15-minute time frame, you'd be seeing plenty of entries here. But for me, I'm not really seeing anything big enough to where I'd like to enter in on a trade, and I can kind of just be in there for like 1 hour to for 3 days, you know. So I can't really see any trades where the movement will be that drastic. But also here, it's looking like it's in this uptrend. So for me to look for another buy, I'm gonna have to wait for it to pull back in the market. So a pullback will just obviously be like down to here, and then this here's a pullback and go back up. But because it is kind of at this extreme high, this here could also be another point of reversal. And so for me to just wait for there to be a pullback and then enter back in on a buy, I'm gonna have to see some further confirmation of that develop in the market. So because it is once again a point of reversal, so this is just like some educational stuff. Because it is a point of reversal, you'd want to just wait until you see a bit more market structure develop, because this is once again a pretty high resistance point. So as it's a point of reversal, you're going to want to see it break, like just create clear uptrend structure if you're looking in for a buy, and you'd like to be more cautious around these levels here. So taking a look here, it's exactly the same thing. We can see that after this descending flag here, when it drops, and then you could have entered in on buy. But yeah, I mean, I could have entered in on buy here towards the upside. Something that I could have seen here occur is just like maybe it starts reversing here and then starts dropping down. So what I'm going to do is just mark up this key level right here. We can see there's obviously this area of resistance and this area of support. So possibly I could enter in here. We could see some extremely strong rejection here and possibly take it towards the upside. But it is once again at this extreme high. So because it is kind of at that level, let's just see what it looks like on the fib. So the fib is telling us that obviously there's this key level in between the 0.5 to 0.6 area. And I've actually got a cheat sheet. If you want to see the cheat sheet, just exclamation mark Instagram. I think it's on my story or something. But it says here, trading rules 101, trade with a trend. So this trend here right now is uptrend, bang. Then the second thing is ensure fib 0.5 to 0.61 has a key level in between. So here we can see 0.5 to 0.6 does have that key level in between it. And then the next thing that I can see is move stop loss to break even after it hits 1%. So once it hits 1% profit, then just move that stop loss up to break even. And then just close half of the position at 1-to-1 risk to reward. So if I was risking essentially 3% and it does hit 1-to-1 risk to reward, then that's when I'd want to close half of the position and hope that the rest of the position continues going up. And then I can just start trailing my stop losses to really maximize out my profits, and especially for this $100,000 account. So this here could be a possible setup, but I would have to be cautious because it is once again extreme. It's at this high here, so It did break it, so possibly it does come back, bounce up, but then obviously I'm gonna have to be cautious around here. So taking a look here, we can see once again it's in this clear uptrend, and once again we can see that it's at this point here, and we can see previously it hit this point and started reversing. So here once again we do need to be cautious that it and we need to understand today, Junior, we do here need to understand that it could just be a point of reversal right here, and it is a pretty strong key level, so we do have to be cautious because it's not really one of those areas like within here. If we were to enter in towards the upside, we can see that there's a lot of movement to go up, but from here, according to previous history here, there really isn't that much structure or whatever to go off of, so we are kind of hitting a new level. So if it does start going downwards, then obviously we look for a sell, but if it does break and continue this uptrend structure, then there could also be a sign. In terms of key levels that I could mark, this one here that I can see is pretty decent. We can see that here it's a bit of resistance, and becomes a bit of support, does get slashed through, but then we can see here gets broken again, and here it's looking like it's testing, and we are seeing this extreme rejection from here, from this candle with this little I forgot what the stick's called, but yeah, I know it's called a candle. Okay, I've done this for ages. Oh, it's called a wick, that's right. We can see with this wick here that it's kind of showing a big sign of rejection. So for here, it is in the uptrend. The fib would probably be telling us to kind of enter back in here. We can see if we did actually enter in on the fib. Oh, it didn't. This wick here didn't quite drop down into this 0.5 area, so we wouldn't have entered on this buy. But you can see that if you did, you would have actually made some money off of that. So zooming out here, just gonna move this thing a bit higher up. Oh wait, I see why it was there, because of this. So what I'm saying here is that it's kind of in this clear uptrend. So it is kind of hitting these highs up here, and pre-COVID it was kind of trading towards a higher point of this. So what I would be expecting or looking for is a break of this level here, and then possibly a break of this level here, and continuing to head towards the upside. But we can see that besides like this area here, we can see from this point to this point here, it is creating those higher highs and higher lows. So I'll just mark them up. We can obviously see there's one, there's a higher high, here's a higher high, here's a lower high. I mean, there's a higher low, and then once again here, higher low. So we could possibly be on track here to create a higher high, but we are going to want to look for a nice break and retest to enter in on. Alright, let me just delete these real quick. Oh, what the heck? Just let me delete it. Whoops. Alright, so we'll go next. Alright, taking a look here, we can see this was kind of a trade that I was looking at entering. It is being extremely choppy right now if I take a look at my entry point, but I do still think that here it is in this upwards trend, and if I was to use a fib from these lows here to this high, you can kind of see that it did end up dropping. I didn't actually enter in on this pair because I didn't identify the key level in between this 0.5 area, right? In between 0.5 to 0.6. Even though there is kind of one here, I did feel as if this one was of more importance. And we can see that's the case because this is where it rejected, right? So we can see that right now it is in between this 0.5 to 0.6, and we can see that it did come back and retest this 0.6, and it did get rejected, Now it's looking like it tried to come back on close on Friday, and it did end up closing again, kind of above the 0.6. And you can see that it tried to drop down again here, but it was unable to, and it did have that really high close. So possibly this could be going towards the upside. We'll see in the next few weeks how this trade develops. But I didn't enter in because, once again, I'm just trading my trade plan, and that trade plan involves a key level, this one here being in between this 0.5 to 0.6, and so I didn't actually enter in because clearly, if you look at the charts, the key level isn't in between 0.5 to 0.6. Oh, damn, that was tiring. Alright, here we can see another trade where I thought that an entry would be good in this 0.5. We can see that it was a decent trade here, as I could have taken around 186 pips profit. Didn't actually enter in because I missed my entry here, which is unfortunate. But we can see that after hitting this point up here, that it did start heading down and started to become extremely bearish. So if we just take a look here, we can see that it did drop below this 0.6, but it is still in this current uptrend here. So, so for that, like, I'm kind of just waiting to see how it develops throughout the week, and I do think that it will just create a higher low. Like if we look here, I do think that we can see that it came back to this key level and was unable to create this high. So that is showing us that there is a possibility that it's losing its uptrend momentum and starting to head towards the downside. So on this pair, obviously I'd have to be a bit careful, but at the same time, I do think that this phase here is just a slight correction in the markets. So taking a look here, we can see that Euro USD is being extremely bullish here. We can see that it's broken this extreme previous high, so what I'm going to do is move that up there, and then what I'm also going to do is kind of just mark this area up here as a level of resistance and a key level as such. So I'm going to mark that up there, and then also what I'm going to do is mark up here as a level of another key level, with the being resistance and support level there, just to kind of see how it reacts when it does start dropping down, because we can see here that it is in this oversold region. So what I'm trying to look for now is kind of just the last time it hit these extreme highs at around this point. Hold on. It was, last time I hit it was 1st of May 2018. So once again, with everyone coming out of Corona and stuff like that, we can see that a lot of these pairs are trading outside its previous range, and it's kind of testing new levels, obviously depending on the time frame you trade. If you trade per year, like for me, for example, I trade 4-hour key levels, but I look for my entries on the 1 hour. Here, we can, like, if you were trading on the yearly, then possibly it's a good sell point or whatever. I don't know, some garbage. But I do think that because using the data that I have in recent times, this pair is essentially in new market territory, new range territory. So I'm going to have to be patient and see how this develops, right? That's just how it works. That's just how Forex works. Oh, sorry about that one, bro. Shit. So we'll head over here. We can kind of see that this did have that descending flag as well. If I just drew it up better, like there we can see, and then obviously comes back, does create a higher high, enter in, bang, take towards the upside. Fortunately, didn't work. I just didn't enter in it. But taking a look out here, we can see that it's coming up towards these highs. So what I'm going to do is kind of just mark this area of support up, just to see how it continues to react, because if it does break and then retest and show signs of rejection, then that could be a sign that I could just take it back down towards this area here, so something like this, and just take it down, and obviously just have some trade like this or something similar. So that's my thought on this pair. But yeah, so like once again, it is getting close to these highs where I'm kind of expecting it to reverse, but obviously I expected a lot of these GBP pairs to start reversing or something like this one here, and I know there was a few New Zealand dollar ones here that I expected to reverse, but it ended up just breaking. So that's why you kind of need to be cautious at new levels, and here as well I'm still needing to be pretty cautious at like this high. So taking a look here, we can see that there was this descending flag. It hit this low, so it would have been a nice time to buy in. What I was looking for was kind of a break of this area up to here, come back down, retest. Didn't quite get to it. What I should have done though, looking back at it now, was mark up this area here as a key level, as I can see that it's resistance, support, support, a bit of resistance, resistance, and support level here. So using that key level, I'd use this low and this high. There I can see that entering on this 5.5 area, in between this 0.5 to 0.6, probably on the key level there. Target these highs up here, and obviously set my stop loss just there. You can see it's got about a 2 risk to reward ratio. You're risking 3% on a $100,000 account. That means this trade would make you around 6 grand off of this one trade, and it's only 82 pips, which you could get in 5 hours or less. Let's just head to the 1 hour. Okay, maybe a bit more than 5 hours, but you get the gist of it. You know, you can trade, you sleep, you make food, you go out for a walk, you come back, the money's in your account. Bang, that's what it's about. Know what I'm saying, bro? Damn. Like, yeah, so this here could have been a trade that I'd taken, but I didn't. But I could also possibly just enter back in on this pair and actually take it towards the upside. So I'm simply, once again, just going to have to wait. But also the reason why I didn't really want to enter in on a buy is because taking a look here at this mark, we can see this arrow. It's obviously telling me here that it's broke. It's in a downtrend. So with my trade strategy, it's the first rule is trading with the trend. So if the trend is going down, then obviously I shouldn't be looking in for a buy. But if here we can see that it's breaking the structure, we can see if I just mark it up, hold on. If I mark it up here, this is the first time it breaks it. Creates this higher low and higher high. Then here, it's actually broken it again by creating a higher high, and here it looks to be a higher low. So normally, on the second time that it breaks the structure, the previous structure, so that would be this downtrend, then 1, 2, then that's when I would start saying that there's a bit of a shift in the trend momentum, and I would be looking for a trade in essentially towards the upside, because this is where I think the pair is going to be heading now. So taking a look here, we can see that it was kind of expected for it to hit this, start bouncing up, and it's gone into this insane sell-off. So because of that, what I'm going to do is look at basically markets pre-COVID. We can see that it has kind of just been in this overall downtrend, then now zooming out. And we can also see that pre-COVID it was trading at this like 0.152 area. So with that, it's kind of expected that this pair continues to start heading down. And we can see that it tried to continue heading towards the upside here. But then obviously market corrects itself and it's continuing to head towards the downside. So this, if there is a clear break and retest of this area here and starts rejecting and bouncing down, then possibly we could target those lows. But you know, this level that I have marked up still seems pretty relevant to me, and would still be a good indicator of what of an entry I'm looking to get in on, or an area where there is interest. So taking a look here, I can kind of see that they did form this double top essentially and into this sell-off, but what I'm expecting is that from here it probably starts bouncing up, because it is kind of on this key level still, even though it doesn't look like it. And it did just break out of this downtrend by creating this higher high and essentially higher low down here. So maybe if we were to whip out the fib from this low to this high, because this could be viewed as a key level, and then I was to mark it up just visually, this small key level here I can see, and then if I was to mark up this one, where would it be? Right here. Would be like that. It would be like this, right? But for me, I'm kind of still expecting it to go from essentially this low here, and then this high would be kind of entering in at around in between this 0.5 to 0.6 area. And then taking a look again at pre-COVID, it's kind of trading once again in that similar range. And it isn't dead middle, but it is kind of slightly ranging in here. So possibly, we can also see that taking a look at these levels of support down here, that when it does hit this, it does end up shooting back up. So here we can see it hit it again, and now it's shooting back up. So possibly it might just continue heading all the way up, but then that'll just mean that once it breaks and retests this, then we can look for a re-entry back in this towards the upside there. So what I'm doing now is kind of just cleaning the charts up on this pair in particular. So here, just still cleaning up the charts, kind of identifying what sort of trend it's in. Here it's kind of looking like it's going back up. But this isn't really certified yet, because it was only the first time. It needs to break it twice, and then that's kind of when I look to change my bias from a downtrend to an uptrend, etc. Here we can see once again this pair did end up breaking this high, which just means it broke the high. I don't really know what else to say besides it just broke that high. But we can also see it's kind of towards this overbought region here, so it might be looking to drop soon. But if we were to mark up key level, we can obviously see a point of resistance here and support level here. But then the movements on this pair right now, normally the Australian dollar isn't really at 74 cents to the US dollar. This is pretty strong, as I am from Australia, so I kind of just like know normally the Australian dollar buys around 70 cents to the US dollar. So simply just based off of that, like if we look at here, we can kind of see that it normally buys around 70 cents. If we take a look pre-COVID here, it does normally buy around 70 cents. So anything higher than 75 cents would kind of be just like a new level, and it would be pretty good to start investing in some shares or whatever, hopefully. But I'm still, obviously, just from my experience being in Australia, comparing our dollar to the US dollar quite frequently, I'm simply just expecting it to drop back down. Now, just to end it off, obviously I've got my stocks here that I invest in. So here I can just see it's created a new high. It's looking like there's a new key level developing around this area here. So possibly another buy would be good in around here, or like around here or here. We can obviously see here it's still testing this support level here for Microsoft, but everyone always says that the tech sector is going to obviously burst and all this garbage. You know what? If it bursts, it's going to go back up anyway. So I think a buy would right now would be pretty good. Or even if you get lucky, or if you're patient, you can enter in at around here if it does come back to retest. This here was a pair I was looking to buy in at. at around this price range, but I kind of just got greedy and wanted it to drop even more so then I could kind of buy in at a lower price. We can obviously see that since then it's really just shot up to what looks like its highest highs, so that's kind of unfortunate. Now taking a look here, Tesla, I do own a share of Tesla too, only because I'm broke ass 19-year-old, but we can obviously see here that it has been above, it did create obviously a new high, and I'm just always essentially expecting Tesla to increase, as I do think it's a great company. Its battery tech is nuts, obviously. Its autopilot function, although there are other cars that do have a better autopilot system, Tesla's the most well known, obviously have the most information coming in from other Teslas, sells like heaps of stuff, sells whiskey as well, and I just think they're a great company. They also sell more than just like car stuff, such as like house tiles and like solar panels and stuff like that, so I just think it's a great company. Obviously this company, it's really early, so if people would like to obviously buy in here, they could. It depends on what they value the company at. So I'm expecting this company to be really just as good as Amazon and stuff within the vehicle industry, as well as the solar panel industry. So I'm expecting this price range to go up to around 2,000 in the next like couple of years, 10 years, 15 years. So even just holding a few positions would be pretty beneficial for me. But guys, with that said, that's kind of going to be the end of the weekly analysis. I hope you guys saw kind of some pairs I was interested in for the rest of the week. That's going to be the end of the YouTube video, so if you have any questions for the YouTube video, just comment it down below. I'll try and get to it as quick as I can. And for Twitch, I'll be here till 7:03 and I'll be gone. Anyway, for the YouTube people, see ya.